Dick Werenski. A shot back, they score! Josh Doan's got it! First in the NHL, and the family celebrates.
Forces the turnover. Look at the hand-eye coordination right out of midair, too.
And Kesselring with a shot, battled away, blocker save, and a rebound, they score! And guess who? Unbelievable!
My goodness. Shane Doan, who?
A night that most of us will always remember, but nobody more so than this guy, the legend Shane Doan, a.k.a. Josh's dad, because that's what everyone's talking about right now. Your son, Josh, lighting it up in his NHL debut. We just saw the video of how proud you were, but how do you explain and describe that moment?
Oh, it was so special. I was way more anxious than I thought I'd be. He had a breakaway right before that. And I thought he might score on that, and then he didn't score on that, and then he kind of tried to wrap it around. And I'd kind of thought, oh, he missed his opportunity to score. And I think that's why my reaction was so, I'd kind of dropped my guard thinking, oh, he'd missed his chance. But it was pretty special. It was very special. I was so happy for him.
No, it was awesome to watch, and we had Josh on, and he was great talking to him, and a good humble kid, and great to have him on here and talking about that big night. But you mentioned, as well as he did, there's a special someone that was giving you a big hug up in the box there.
Oh, my man, Uncle Dan.
And I was talking about him. We asked Josh, and he was like, "Yeah, I got a really special relationship." Can you talk about the relationship with Uncle Dan?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's somebody that is. He's been, since Josh has been born, he's made him feel so special, and he's made Josh, he goes out of his way, he does these crazy shirts for him. They talk probably once or twice a week, and he's somebody that he's really close with, and it was pretty unique that he got to be there and to have the relationship that they have, and for him to be hugging me like that. I was pretty, it was such a cool moment. I was so excited for him. And for Dan, that was a lot of fun. Dan lives in Kamloops, so we spend our summers in Kamloops, and it's we have an unbelievable relation. I felt small there for a second, really small.
Seriously,
so,
people don't understand.
His kids and it's Andrea's sister and Sheena, and the kids are Harrison, Roman, and Charlotte. They're just unbelievable family, and we get along great with them. I mean, our whole families, my side, their side, we're very blessed. We got a lot of really close friends and family, and Josh has been pretty lucky.
Does he just move boulders in Kamloops all summer? Like, oh my gosh, that's what Doobie.
I don't think
Doobie and I were talking about it. We both played like Donor. Donor, we used to always call him like he's a horse. He's this. You look like this next to him. To be honest with you,
it's very true, very true. Dan he actually owns a tire shop in Kamloops, and he throws them. Like he throws those on the big trucks and does stuff. He's got Reach Tires in Kamloops. He owns, and it's one of those. That's what he does, and he works out like a fiend. Like it's impressive to see. I've seen him bench 600 pounds. Like the guys that
I mean,
which I quit. I haven't bench pressed in my life now in the last 20 years. So what he can do in the gym makes me stay away from it. So
well, his traps are touching his ears and he's hugging you and tickling the bottom of his earlobes there.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Hey, but you showed we had a picture that we had Josh that comment on. Trons, can we put that picture up when he was back with the junior Coyotes, and just how the story with Josh, super cool. Like how little he was, how much he grew. Like I love this whole story. And can you talk about this photo here?
Yeah, you know what? He was he was a late bloomer. Up until 10 he was big for his age, and then from about 10 to 15 he didn't grow. Like literally didn't grow. And he was a little kid, and he had to learn how to compete and learn how to play the game the right way. And I was kind of the exact opposite, where I was big as a kid growing up. So I didn't learn the game the way that he did, and he's learned to use his angles and use his body. And now that he's grown and he's got some size to him now, he knows how to use his body properly. But when he went away to play junior hockey, I was a little bit worried. He was so little and he was so determined. And when he went to Chicago, we talked about it, and he told me he knew he wasn't going to play. He knew he was going to be on the fourth line, but he didn't care. He wanted to earn his way. And then at last couple of years here and coming to ASU and then going down to Tucson. He knew he was going to have to earn his way because he said he's been doing it since he was 11, having to figure out a way to get on a team and then find a way to stay on a team, and he'll do it again. So he's found ways and he keeps doing it.
I'm sure, have had a lot of conversations with him throughout his life about this very thing, but we were talking yesterday how special it is for a kid who comes from NHL bloodlines, and especially the son of the legend in Arizona, Shane Doan, to then carve out his own path. I mean, that is so impressive, because a lot of people might say, oh, it's because he's Shane's kid, oh, special treatment, this, that. Has he battled that kind of throughout his career? And if so, how validating was it for you and for him to say, no, like, he's arrived, this is his moment?
Oh, I think that was probably my reaction, and our family's reaction was that, because you understand, and you have to be naive not to see the fact that the path has been kind of in front of him with me playing here and everything. Originally we didn't want him to get drafted by the Coyotes. We thought he needed to go somewhere else, and then we talked about it as a family, and he was excited that there was an opportunity that we wouldn't tell anybody no, and he could go wherever he got drafted. And the Coyotes didn't let me know that they were drafting him. I tried to convince him to go to Kamloops, because I own the team in Kamloops, and he didn't want to do that. So he went to Chicago, and he's been, I agree. It's a special thing that he's picked his own way. He's made his own decisions, and probably went against what I would have done in a few different spots. And he just keeps working his own way in, and he's an amazing young man, and I'm so proud of him. And I was proud of him way before this, but I'm proud of the way he's handled himself and the way he handles himself.
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of story you can't make up. We were talking about it yesterday. I mean, it's just, you can't write this stuff. So
no,
we're happy for you guys and for him as well. Ex-Kamloops Blazer myself, just like Donor.
Yes, that boy Doobie.
Yeah, I remember during the lockout, Donor came and practiced with us a little bit. This would have been in 2004 lockout. And I remember Donor coming in and shooting on me, and like I literally couldn't see the puck. I was like I had NHL aspirations, and for a couple practices they went away, because I'm well, if that's how they shoot in the NHL,
I'm done.
There's no chance.
Toast.
Okay, switching gears real quick, because I got to ask you about this. I'm pretty sure I asked you about this before, but for the people that don't know, you were on a show called Man Tracker, I believe, right? This is one of my favorite things. If you get a chance,
I drove Doobie home yesterday, and he's told me about it, and I'm like, I'm watching that tonight.
If you get a chance, go on YouTube and find Shane Doan Man Tracker, and it's an awesome show. But you went on there with your brother. Tell us what that was like.
Oh, it was amazing. You know what? And you know what? Now, Doobie, everybody actually. I think I might be more known for that Man Tracker show at times now than anything. God. Well, now I'm more known for Josh's dad, but that's okay. I love that. But yeah, my brother and I got to do it. My brother wanted to go on the show. I wasn't necessarily, I hadn't watched it very many times or seen it or anything, but my brother wanted to go on it. And he teased me all the time about thinking I was a big deal. And he said if I thought I was a big deal, I could get us on the show. I said I'd make one phone call. I called, happened to be the right person, and they're like, yeah, we'd love to have you on, but they wanted me on with another NHL player, and so I suggested Damon Lankow and Derek Morris. I said those two guys are incredible men. They'd be awesome to follow around in the bush. You should ask them. And then they came back and said, well, we'll do it with your brother if you think he's cool enough. And I was like, what do you mean if he's cool enough? I think he's awesome. So yeah, we did it. It was an unbelievable show. It's all legit. The only part that's not legit about it is that at night they make you stop, which is scary, because you're in the middle of, we were 4.5 hours north of Whistler. So we're like in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the mountains.
Wow. And
you just lay down on the ground and try to sleep, even though we'd passed like 7 black bears. There had been cougars. We hadn't seen a grizzly, but they'd shown us pictures of grizzlies that were in the area where we're at to be aware of. We had like these little, so we just tried to lay down and sleep. I didn't sleep one wink, not one wink that night. Like I was wide awake. Every time a bush cracked or something happened, you sit up and be looking around trying to see if something was going to get you. But it was awesome. We had a great time.
Yes.
One of the coolest experiences ever with my brother.
You gotta Google. You go on YouTube, Shane Doan Man Tracker.
Pulling it up now.
It's worth it. It's awesome.
Hey, one last one for you too. Josh was saying that Doobie asked you yesterday, and I thought it was I never thought about it. You're like, where are you staying? You staying in the hotel? You're doing whatever, you know, like a normal call up, you'd go to the hotel. He's like, no, I'm at home here. Can you just talk about the vibe, how cool it is? I mean, listen, man, you and Andrew, if you got your family and the kids are getting to ages where they're leaving, they're becoming young adults and taking on their own life. It feels good to have everybody under the same roof in this great moment, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Rupper. Like, I can't. I mean, I know your kids are getting older too, but it's to have them all together, to be all in the same house right now. And none of the other than Josh, Josh and Carson are at home, but everyone else, Karis is at ASU and Gracie's moved out a while ago. But to have everyone home for dinner last night, and to have Dan and Sheena and their kids there, and Josh came home from after the game. I was wondering what he wanted to do, and he drove home with me and a couple of his buddies, and he literally drove us back to our house. And we went back in the house, and Andrea and Sheena and Dan were up, and we were sitting around watching the highlights and laughing and talking about it. And he went to his room and went to bed. Like, it's unbelievable.
That's the best. That's my favorite part about this whole thing.
Yeah, he's an NHL player, but he might as well be 12 years old, right? I mean, that's precious. I love that.
Yeah, and he learned the cool part. His morning skate for his first NHL game was on the ice that he learned to skate on when he was like 2 years old.
My goosebumps. And we didn't even get into. We didn't even get him scoring the first goal and Mullet. Like, you know, like this is. You can't write this, man. You can't write this.
Can you make a movie about this someday? Because I'd watch it. That's so awesome. Hey, real quick before we let you go, what's the message for Game 2? I mean, how does he even follow that up?
Well, I told him not to worry about scoring in Game 1, and that he needed to make sure you win your battles down low and you win your battles at the blue line and you get it deep, and you know all the little things that you have to do to be a player. So it's probably going to be. I'm not saying anything to him now. I just let him. But he knows those are the things he has to do, and you have to earn the coach's trust. That's all I say. Earn the coach's trust, and if you do that, then you can play. But if you lose that, you're screwed. You don't have a chance. So don't lose that trust.
Oh my gosh, that's great stuff. Thanks so much for the time and storytelling. It really is awesome hearing from you, Dad's perspective on a moment that I don't think any of us will ever forget, but certainly a moment that your family will remember forever. Before we do let you go, we have a picture of the one and only Man Tracker.
Is that the final? Is that the final stretch?
Yes, yeah. My brother there. Look at my brother on the right. He's a big man.
Yeah, so. I remember. If I recall, you guys finished, and you're an absolute horse. So you just like crossed the finish line, no problem. Probably a heartbeat of 60, and your brother was dying trying to keep up with you.
He was a little tired. The Man Tracker actually catches most people. He's
I know.
85% at that point.
Yeah.
He was at 85% of catching people.
And you guys did it.
It was,
did he tell you what it was, though?
No, but I'm going to Google it.
A man on a horse?
A man on a so they get a head start, right? Two guys on horses?
Two men on a horse.
And you guys get how much of a head start?
Guys.
What?
And they got to catch you. We went 53 kilometers, and we went, I think it was like 7,000 feet up and down a couple times. It was exhausting. One of the hardest things I've ever done.
Out in the wilderness, being chased by two men on horseback.
Yeah.
Sleeping with grizzly bears.
You signed up for this willingly. Like, that's
so awesome.
Unreal.
Awesome.
I'm watching it tonight.
Yep.
I'm not watching any of the games tonight.
I'm rewatching it.
I have so much more respect for you now, Jonah. Thanks so much again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks for taking care of Josh, too. You guys were great to him yesterday.
He was
Thanks
amazing.
so much.
He deserved it, and we'll give him his flowers all day.